Tonight on Connecticut's news station, live team coverage as a winter storm heads our way.
A Fox 61 Weather Watch alert for a March nor'easter. We'll talk timing and updated accumulations.
There will be big differences across the state. We'll break them down region by region and let you know where the worst will be.
And preparing for power outages.
At that level, we could have over 3,000 trouble spots on our system, and we could have over 10% of our customers could experience a power outage.
Utility crews gearing up to respond to down lines and make sure your lights stay on throughout the storm.
Plus, plows on patrol across the state.
I've got a Jeep with a plow on it, so I'm ready for pretty much anything that happens.
Working to keep roads clear and safe for drivers.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station. Fox 61, Connecticut's news station begins with a Weather Watch alert.
A weather watch alert tonight. Winter weather making its way into Connecticut with rain and snow in the forecast. We are tracking it all. Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Jen Bernstein.
And I'm Ben Goldman. We're tracking the latest conditions across the state as the nor'easter creeps on closer here. We have live team coverage tonight, checking in on how utility crews are getting ready for power outages.
Yeah, plus a look at what's being done to keep the roads safe. But first, we do want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a look at the timing and what we can expect to see tonight. Rachel.
This storm is all about location, location, location. And when I say that, I mean elevation. This is going to be a high impact storm for the Northwest Hills, where we are expecting over a foot of snow for some areas and outages, unfortunately, that might become widespread in some areas. But as you head down in elevation, we're talking about a lot of heavy rain that could finish as some snow and much less in the way of accumulation. For the evening commute tonight, we are just expecting rain across the state, maybe a few snowflakes mixing in the Northwest Hills. So in terms of impact, we think minor coastal flooding. We'll see gusty winds that could get up to 40 to 50 miles per hour, especially as the storm is moving away, and varying travel conditions tomorrow. Again, if you're in the hills, the roads are awful heading towards daybreak, but for many south and east of I-84 and south and east of Hartford, the roads may be just wet as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. By the news at 10 and 11, it's snowing in the Northwest Hills, raining everywhere else, and we are talking about some very heavy snow, a good burst of it. As we head towards daybreak, more areas will change over to snow, and there might be a little bit of a break in the action. This computer model doesn't show it, but around 7, 8 a.m., things may relax a little bit. Check in with the morning show crew to see how the roads are doing. But even though we're showing snow filling in through the afternoon, temperatures will actually be above freezing for a lot of the state. So that will cause some melting, especially when snowfall rates are light. But at times when you get these heavier bursts of snow, they will be able to stick to the ground and could make things slippery. For southern areas, I think that a lot of the accumulation ends up actually happening towards the end of the day tomorrow and tomorrow night when temperatures get closer to freezing. 2 to 4 in the Hartford area, over a foot of snow in northwestern Connecticut, and much less at the Connecticut shoreline, where some may even fail to accumulate. That's what I'm saying. But let's communicate to meteorologist Ryan Breton, who's going to take a tour all across the area and let us know what to expect. Hi, Ryan.
Rachel, as you said, this is all about elevation and location. A winter storm warning up for Litchfield County, Tolland County, and Windham County. But everywhere else, as you get down into the lower elevation, it's a winter weather advisory, and there's no type of winter advisory or warning for the shoreline. The hills definitely going to be the place with the highest impact out of this storm. Once we see that rain transition to heavy wet snow tonight, it will be pretty dramatic overnight into the early morning hours, with a foot or more possible, especially in northern Litchfield County. You add the snow to the power lines to the trees, it weighs them down, and outages are pretty likely here tomorrow, in addition to the tricky travel later tonight into tomorrow morning. But once you get down in elevation, out of the hills, things will get better. A lot of the night it'll just be raining, and then as Rachel showed, there will be a change to snow that happens during the day tomorrow, but given the temperatures will be a little bit warmer, and at times the snow will lessen in intensity, there will be big differences in how much the snow can accumulate on the roads. At times it'll be a little tough getting around, and at other times it'll just be wet. And then at the shoreline, this is really a rainstorm tonight with 2 inches or more of rain in spots. So if you're in a place where you sometimes have basement issues or minor street flooding issues, that may be a problem as you head out the door in the morning, even though it will end as some wet snow there. And there also may be some minor coastal flooding during the early morning high tide around 4 or 5 in the morning on the shoreline. Clearly, a lot of aspects to this storm, and Rachel will be back with much more coming up. Back to you.
All right, Ryan, thank you. Well, earlier on the news at 5, we gave you an inside look at how Eversource is preparing for the impending nor'easter. Now we want to check in on United Illuminating.
Fox 61's Matt Karen live in Berlin to highlight the power restoration preps that have been ongoing. Matt.
Hi guys, before we get to our story, I cannot let this moment pass without showing you that we have been joined behind us here on the front lawn of the Eversource headquarters by a flock of Canada geese. So this is interesting, right? We just saw them completely block traffic along the Berlin Turnpike, but for a lot of people, a sighting of Canada geese is a harbinger of spring. So maybe, just maybe, they know something that we do not. It's certainly not going to look like spring the next couple of days as we continue to track this impending nor'easter. We told you earlier about how Eversource is expecting up to 131,000 customers to be without power, but we also checked in along the shoreline today with United Illuminating. They're expecting another 30,000 potentially in the dark.
We're ready for up to 31,000 outages in our service area, but we're really expecting 10,000 or less.
United Illuminating has been through this before and knows the key to success is over preparation.
It really is making sure that we have crews staggered out throughout the day and pre-positioned and stationed where it makes sense so that they can respond as quickly and safely as possible.
Just like Eversource, UI has tapped into its mutual aid system to secure hundreds of extra line workers, both contracted and through utility providers from out of state.
I haven't heard any issues getting staffing in.
But unlike Eversource, UI services mainly Connecticut's shoreline towns, where snow might not be the main issue.
This really is going to be a wind and a rain event more than it is snow. So we're keeping an eye on flooding as well.
Potentially lulled into a false sense of security from a mild winter. Residents told us they aren't too worried, even if they lose power.
If I lose power, not really. We'll just have to cope with it.
Our whole house is powered with a generator.
Now, both United Illuminating and Eversource are reminding you tonight to keep those devices charged, like your cell phone, and also to have an emergency kit on standby. They also encourage you to stay home if you can, and certainly if you see a downed power line or perhaps a live Canada goose, never approach it. We're live here in Berlin. Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We certainly don't mind the rain right there. Matt, thank you very much. Well, parking bans are already pouring into the newsroom, and we do anticipate school delays and cancellations that we're going to be following closely. A mix of heavy rain, wet snow, high winds have transportation crews on standby across the state. Fox 61's Samaya Hernandez live on our sky deck with the warning for drivers tonight. Samaya.
Jen, this steady rain that's falling right now, the calm before the storm. Transportation officials, state transportation officials are responsible for more than 11,000 miles of roads, and crews really can't get started until this rain switches over to snow.
Been nice not shoveling snow.
Dan Ostie gearing up for an hours-long trek down 84 from Colchester to Pennsylvania Monday has no complaints about a warmer than usual winter.
The heat bills have been good. It's been nice and warm, less oil.
But that's expected to change Tuesday when a nor'easter brings heavy rains, wet snow, and high winds to the region, just in time for Ostie to drive back to Connecticut.
I'm not excited about that, but we'll see what happens.
Transportation crews on standby at more than 50 garages across the state.
You know, our snow season runs into April, so you may put the plow blades away and cycle off snow duty and get back to some of that spring and summer work.
900 trucks, 600 drivers, 200 contractors on their toes, waiting for rain to switch to snow. That's when the hard work of keeping up with snowfall begins. Department of Transportation spokesman Josh Morgan urges drivers to take it extremely slow and keep distance from plows.
Delay travel, work from home if it's possible.
Brianna Rhodes stopped in Southington Monday on the way from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts. She hopes this nor'easter is winter's last hurrah.
Kind of excited that it's going to be over. I'm ready for the warm summer months.
Once in the Bay State, Rhodes plans to stay off the roads.
Just hunker down for the day, spend time with friends and family, and just wait for the storm to pass.
And this nor'easter impacting the entire region. State transportation officials tell me that they're planning to have a conference call with their counterparts in this region to figure out whether or not they'll be issuing one of those tractor trailer bans. We're live on the Sky Deck. I'm Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Samaya, thank you. And we are on top of the snow coming our way. Download the Fox 61 app with the latest radar, hour-by-hour forecasts, closures, and more. We also have a link where you can report a power outage yourself in case you do lose power. Well, new tonight, the attorney for the family of a Milford woman who was allegedly killed by her husband says that they're suing the town for failing to protect the mother of three. Julie Minogue's family says the department failed to take action when Minogue reported that her husband, Ewan DeWitt, violated a protection order. DeWitt is accused of killing Minogue with an axe just weeks after she went to the police about that very violation. DeWitt is now being held on $5 million bond. He's due back in court next month.
And in Cromwell, a teen is recovering after being shot over the weekend. State police responded to West Street just before 10 p.m. on Saturday night. There, officers found an 18-year-old with gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital with what are believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information on this incident should contact state police. And state police are looking to talk to witnesses of a serious crash that happened on I-84 eastbound in Southington on Friday night. Police say a car was driving near exit 33 when it lost control and rear-ended another car. One of the drivers was taken to the hospital, but the other driver was not injured. Police are still investigating, and anyone who may have seen the crash should call state police.
To Waterford now, where police are looking for suspects who stole thousands of dollars from a CVS. Police releasing these photos. They say that these two suspects took $3,000 worth of gift cards Friday using sleight of hand techniques to distract and confuse a cashier. Police say that they're suspected of doing the exact same thing in a neighboring community earlier in the day as well. Anyone who recognizes the suspects should call Waterford Police.